A creative block, it's a psychological state in which we are unable to access our creative energy. It can go as far as preventing us from producing work or even expressing ourselves, and so it can be very frustrating and painful. But what if I told you that your creative block is not a problem, but a solution? I have suffered from a creative block my entire life, since I have always been involved in tasks that required me to put myself out there. I studied music for 15 years and I was this close to becoming a professional cellist before I decided that music wasn't for me, and I started experimenting with photography and filmmaking. These emotional knots have made me suffer, and I have never really come across any good solutions to unlocking someone's creativity. Many times the reason why we are blocked is because we have experienced some kind of trauma. I know that when I say the word trauma, all kinds of terrible things come to mind. According to Dr. Gabor Mate, trauma is the impact a certain event has on someone's psychological and emotional state. He states that when trauma is produced, a disconnection from the self and the present moment occurs, leaving behind some kind of emotional wound. Our creative block is really nothing else than the fact that our brain, our adult brain, is trying to prevent us from going through that painful experience again, so that we don't suffer and face the emotions we felt when this wound appeared inside of us and was recorded in our psyche. Try to see what happened there, revisit those moments, and try to digest them as the adult you are now. Having gone through this experience myself, I get how terrifying only thinking about that can sound. I am almost certain that you have lived and carried this pain with you in silence. I think I also felt shame of the fact that this was happening to me, that I was so unable to do the things I saw other people do so naturally. And for those of you who feel this horror of just going through the process, please know that you need to have a lot of patience with yourself. It is the journey of a lifetime to get out of a creative block. But even with all that, I would like you to think about the possibility of liberating yourself for it and how it would feel. That is the single thing that has made me stick to this process through the years when I wasn't seeing results, when I seemed to be going around in circles, not getting anywhere. The tactics and tools to reach liberation, if you will, are also way more available right now than they used to be 10 years ago when I started this process. So that is something you've got on your side that, for example, I didn't have. And ultimately, if not being able to create or produce the work you feel that you want to produce hurts more than actually doing it, I can almost assure you that you will come to the conclusion that this is the only way that will give you long-lasting effects. And it is a gift, because through the process you will get to know yourself in a way you cannot even imagine right now. So now that I have said all this, let's break this process down a little bit more, even though, as I said, it takes time, and it's okay for it to take time. Just take into account that you have carried these wounds with you for many years and they're not going to disappear overnight. Before, I've mentioned that this is the way your brain has to protect you from suffering, and you might be wondering, how does that work, right? Well, there's a key word that we are going to embrace in this process, and the word is feeling. Your brain is protecting you from feeling what you felt in the past. In that way, we are kind of cut from our own emotions, and it becomes harder for us to access them. The really good news is that these wounds probably happened back when you were younger, maybe so young that you were even a kid. Right now, I guess you are an adult. And as an adult, you are more than capable of taking care of your inner child. This took a long while for me to understand, but it's true that we always carry within the vulnerability from when we were children. And once you understand that you are something else, something that's deeper than the voice in your head, and you can start separating yourself from that voice, it becomes easier to hold both the adult and the child within you and take care of this child and tell them things that would have comforted you when you were a child, a real one. The adult side of us is now the filter for this child, and it is the presence that will make the child be able to navigate and understand hard emotions and things that are hard for us to digest. There are 2 books that I can recommend for becoming aware of the voice and for getting in touch with your inner child. The first one will be The Power of Now. I have spoken about this book many times in my old videos that unfortunately or thankfully you cannot watch anymore, at least for now. And I have written about it as well on my website and on my newsletter. This book meant a turning point in my life, and I would recommend it to any person alive, really, because it makes you be aware of a dimension of yourself that you might not be aware exist. The second book is called The Inner Child, I believe, by Thich Nhat Hanh. I don't know if I am pronouncing this name correctly, but anyways, I will leave links to both books in the description below. This book is full of tools and tactics to access or to reconciliate, I don't know if that's even a verb, yourself with your inner child. And it walks you through how to do it. Once we are disidentified from our mind, we can begin the process of unleashing our own creativity. Just please keep in mind, this takes time, patience, and practice. If you have made any attempts to do the thing your creative block is preventing you from doing, I am 100% sure you have felt a paralysis at any point in the process, and then you ended up throwing it out the window and never completing it. At some point it feels really painful, and we hear the voice inside judging, telling us how bad we suck or all kinds of awful things about ourselves. The practice is this. It consists of starting to do the thing, and when this pain and when this discomfort arises, don't go anywhere, don't throw it anywhere, just hold on, pause for a minute, breathe, and try to see where you feel the block, where you feel the emotion that hurts, that makes you want to run away from this process. Do you feel it in your throat? Do you feel it here in your chest? Or do you feel it in the gut? Try to locate this feeling And again, this takes practice. We've been running away from this for ages. So please hold on, you're safe. Nothing is going to happen, right? You're safe. You might not get it on the first attempt, but it will come. I promise it will come. Just hold on. Once you've located the emotion, try to amplify it and feel it. It's okay. Nothing bad is going to happen. You're safe. And now, when you're better able to feel what it is, ask your subconscious, when did I feel this for the first time? What happened? What happened? Who said those words that hurt you? I'm sure you remember, because I've been through this as well. And even though your brain is terrified of this, now that you have gotten in touch with these feelings, you have an opportunity to process them. You have an opportunity as an adult to hug your inner child and say, it's okay. This person, whoever it was, they didn't mean to hurt you. They just didn't know you would take it that way. This experience has brought you to this moment, so embrace it. And the key thing with emotions, as I said before, is not just recognizing where they are, is to actually feel them. So feel the emotion. Feel the emotion means cry if you need to cry. It's okay. Fight with pillows if you feel angry. That's okay. But live the emotion. That's the only way you can untie the knot and liberate it. All these years, you've either denied these emotions, and denying emotions mean cutting yourself off them, not feeling them at all. You have lived in your head, because that's where we feel we have control. That's where we feel we can go through life as if nothing happened. But then in practice, this is not true, and you fall again and again each time you try to repeat or do the thing you intended to do. Or you might have depreciated yourself. The cure for this denying of emotions, we've gone through it already, is daring to feel your emotions. Emotions are meant to be felt. But if what you've done, well, and it can be a combination of the two, is depreciating yourself, the key word for you is not to value yourself more, but rather to accept yourself more. The key word for you is acceptance. You need to learn to love yourself. And what that means is you need to learn to love the things you like better about you and the things you don't like so much, because this is you and you cannot change yourself. You can change certain things, certain aspects of your behavior, but who you are in essence, that's who you are, and there's no way you're gonna change that. You can transform it by accepting it, by embracing the fact that, okay, I might be a disaster. This is who I am. This is actually who I am. I am a disaster. I wish you could see around this room right now. I will probably show you another time, but this is just who I am. Am I going to be fighting that all the time? Am I going to be provoking this suffering to myself? Or am I going to accept it and see what happens? I know that when I say it like this, it sounds easy. It's not because I am, just saying this because this is what everybody says. It has taken me long years to get to the point where I can sit in front of this camera and speak this message to you and actually have a good time. Because before I didn't have a good time while preparing my gear to film. I have filmed tons of videos that never saw the light. I have removed all my previous videos from my YouTube channel so that no one can see them anymore, because those weren't the messages I was trying to convey. But they have brought me here to where I am right now, and they have been the necessary steps, together with 1,000 other things that I've tried. They have been these necessary steps for me to get to know myself better, get to not only know myself but accept that this is who I am. I could be comparing myself to everyone online, and yet I am not them, I am me. So what am I going to do to show what shines in me? What am I going to do to regain my voice so that I can put it out there and help those in need benefit from what I have to say, no matter what it is? In my case, is speaking about creativity and how to liberate it from what it is inside of you, because this is something that I really care about, and that I have learned from in my own journey. And actually, it was by trying to speak about these things that I started realizing how blocked I was in the first place. But it could be anything, really. Just remember, this process takes time. Our minds have been so polluted in the last few years with the explosion of social media. So I have a feeling that we're not so used to waiting to see results anymore. We want everything fast, and it is not the case for this process to be fast. But as many teachings show, the reward is not the destination, the reward is the journey itself. Try to have fun, try to enjoy yourself. I really hope this video has been helpful to you in any way. If so, please consider subscribing. I also write an email newsletter called Synchronia, where I share insights of my everyday life and profound reflections and teachings I come across. So in case you want to check that out as well, I will leave the link in the description below. Stay creative, take care, have patience and faith, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.